It's hard and is not where you want to be in life. You have worked so many different jobs. You have had so many different titles. But I have worked for 40 years without anything to show. I know what you're thinking. Girl, you don't even look like 20. How can you be working for 40 years without anything to show? I'm going to be telling you two stories today. I'm going to be telling you the story of my dad, and I'm also going to be telling you the story of me. And this has been something I've been thinking about, and the things that we have taught growing up, and how different we see the world today, or I see the world today. And I look back at my dad, bless him, and it's hard. It's really hard. If you have parents and they're in the same situation, you know what I'm feeling. I look at my dad, and he have been working since he could remember. Honestly, since he could remember, since a little boy, he has been working his butt off day and night with nothing to show. What I mean by this, all right. So, since I know my dad, all the memories I have of my dad is him working, trying to provide for his family, trying to pay the bills, and just trying to make sure we were able to have something to eat. And that's something that I struggle with. I remember growing up, and I said, when I get older, I don't wanna have to worry about where the next meal coming from. Because I felt like as growing up, that's something that we had to think about a lot. Like where the next meal coming from. And that is something I knew I wanted to provide for my family when it comes to food. Like the basic, the essentials, right? The basic food, clothing, and shelter, right? That is some things, just, the basics. And but growing up with my dad, that is something that a lot of us didn't have. Yes, we had food, clothing, and shelter, which was good. And I can't complain about that. Did we had a lot of it? No. But I just want to say, my dad, he's a jack of all trades. That is what they call it back home. I'm a jack of all trades, but specifically, he normally does painting, not like artwork, but like actually to paint houses and stuff like that. And didn't grow up with an education, so he always wanted to provide us with an education. This he always wanted to provide his children with an education, the stuff that he never had growing up, which is an education. And I he would go to work without eating. And you know what's crazy? When I think about it, I don't even know if he was able to eat lunch where he went, or maybe he had a sandwich. But that took him through the entire day, which is so sad when I think about it. And then to come home, because at that time he was working for next to nothing, still actually, and just to come home to buy groceries, send us to school. That's basically it. Didn't have no extra spending money. Actually, we had $1 spending money, and we had an extra dollar to spend in school growing up. And but my dad wear the same clothes since I was small. Like he still have the same clothes when I was small to this day. What? And some people clothes material things doesn't really matter, but I'm just trying to say it's not that he didn't want more stuff, is the fact that he had to decide which was most important, buying jockey shorts or boxers or underwears or t-shirts or whatever the case might be, or sending his kids to school, making sure, because we had to travel to school, so we had was to get money to travel to school, um, so that we don't miss a day of school. And so he would remain not having those things so that we can get an education. So when I say he don't have anything to show, I mean, in a sense, we were taught if we work hard, then we'll be able to get the house that we want, we'll be able to buy the car that we want, whatever the case might be. You know what I'm saying? You work hard, you should be able to see the fruits of your labor. But there is no, I guess, correction. I guess his fruit of his labor is us, right? Is us. I do want to say that, but I'm talking about besides us. Like, what does, he have to show for it? And honestly, when I think about it, I think about the house that we grew up in right now. And I mean, I remember he had these big dreams of um, building his home or our home or just fixing up the place from board to bricks. And the fact that it took him, how old he is? Close to 65. And he is now getting that. And it's because of his kids, of course. And we are able to help him in a sense. Now we are able to, help him a little bit, help him here, help him there. Okay, the house is not livable anymore. Now we need to build in bricks. And because we adults now, we can afford to help him. And so, but I'm just saying, I'm asking myself, that is not the life I want. And you ever ask yourself, that is how God intended us to be, just working just to pay bills? Like, I feel like not living a fulfilling life because you worry so much about just trying to pay the bills or just trying to be able to provide food, like the basic necessities, just like I'm talking the basic necessities, right? You worry so much of those things because the economy we live in right now, it's really hard to even provide the basic necessities, right? And so that is what I say when I said, basically, you work all your life and have nothing to show because we were taught if we work hard, we'd be able to have a house and this, and you think by a certain age you should, right? And leading up to my story, I was taught, hey, you go to school, you get education, and you're gonna be okay. Okay, you're gonna be set. And guess what I did? I went to school. I'm still in school. Like, when this is gonna end? Anyway, but I got my bachelor's. Okay, I'm ready to make some money. Where's the money? Oh, as soon as it comes in, it goes out. It comes in, it goes out. I've been working since I was 16 years old and I've never stopped. I have been in survival mode basically since I was 16 years old, maybe. Yeah, 16 years old. And that's why I want to call it survival mode because that's how we was raised, in survival mode. And the moment we stop, we feel like our life is going to crumble. Like something is definitely wrong because we pause. And that pause causes anxiety, it causes us to worry even more because we are not accustomed to just pausing. We are accustomed to keep going, 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 going. And a lot of us have been raised in survival mode, sadly. And I look at it now, and I mean, when I say I have nothing to show, I mean I'm talking about the physical aspects of it, right? And let me don't say I have nothing to show because I have gained so much, and I have to be grateful for it. But when I say I have nothing to show, the things I thought I would have had by now, I don't. Like I said, I was told if you go to school and get a degree, you're gonna make money with that degree and you're gonna have your house and your family and your own place and whatever the case might be. I have been, oh, I should say we have been moving from since 20, since I was, it's been over, let's just say it's been 9 years of us just constantly just moving, trying to figure it out. And I'm like, oh my goodness, but I'm truly grateful for the opportunities we have, of course. But at this point, you would think because you put in so much work with your education and the things that you were taught growing up, you would think that life would be different. Life would be different. And I'm just like, whoa, it is different. Not in the way I hope or I dreamed of it. I had no idea, or like at this point in my life, in our life, I should say, we would be still moving around and trying to figure it out. I just assume at this point in my life, I would be more settled, know where I'm going to be, like all these different things because your girl have her degree, and that is not the case. And that's why I titled this "When You Work So Much and You Don't Have Anything to Show for It," because in this economy, it's very hard to even purchase a house, like a home. No one wants to rent, but then you don't have the funds to even purchase a home. And you've been working your entire life. Basically, you've been working your entire life, but yet nothing to show because everything that you work for go back into either paying rent, paying the phone bill, paying the car bill, paying the school, like just bills. At one point, I asked myself, is this even worth it? Like, Lord, is this even worth it? I'm just really exhausted at the end of the day. I'm just really tired. Like, is this what you intended for your children? Is this what you intended for me? And the answer is no. No. I truly believe this is not what life's supposed to be like, us just slaving away. Like, no. Like, our mental health is important. A lot of us, we work in jobs where it takes so much out of us, but yet we can't leave because we have a bill to pay. And you know what's sad is like the economy we live in. It's so sad that we will stay in that job because we have bills to pay, of course, and then we just continue in that job and we don't grow and we don't become the person who Heavenly Father wants us to become. That's how I see it. There is no growth. There is nothing. You're just stagnant, and that is not how He intended us to be. Just trying to slave away, just to pay a bill, unhappy, mentally, physically drained every single day. Uh-uh. That is not it. That is not it. So then what is it? What is it? What can we do? Whew, I don't know. Like, not like I don't know. I have tried my best. One thing I've done is to find joy in the journey and realize don't so much focus on the destination because that destination in my that destination, yes, but the journey to get to there can look so different for everyone. And so what I have been doing now is to actually find joy in the journey and not the destination. And so, yes, the house is not there as yet. Okay. Knowing where we are gonna be settled is not there as yet. Okay. Like all these different things I can name out. Okay. But what am I gonna do? Like what am I gonna do? What choice do I have? And when I say what choice do I have, I can choose to be sad about my situation. I can choose to be happy. I can choose to do something else. Like I have that choice, just like you have that choice. And I want you to understand that even though you don't receive your work for all these years and you just don't see the fruits of your labor, my take is moving forward from today, please stop focusing on the destination and focus more on the journey. Be present. If you have kids, if you have a family, I understand you want you want your family to be a certain way, you want them to live a certain place, like all these different things you want to have. We want to provide for your family in so many different ways. But right now, maybe you're unable to do that. And that is okay. It's okay. Trust me, life is so short to be worrying every single day about the house, about the car, about just everything. And because when you start doing that, then that is when, hey, anxiety pop up. That is when, hey, depression pops up. Your mental health keep going down and down and down. So my take is just focus on the now, focus on the journey, see how you can find joy in the journey, even though you don't have the house that you want and you have an apartment, how you can find joy. If you don't have the job that you desire, but you still have a job, how you can find joy, even if your coworkers might be a pain in the behind, how can you still find joy in that? That is what I wanted to talk about today. Even though it's hard and is not where you want to be in life, you have worked so many different jobs, you have had so many different titles, but yet it's still nothing to show. That's a lot of us actually. And when I look at my dad, and I can see the hard life that he have on his face. And I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be stressed out each and every day. I don't want that. And I want to take a different approach, even though I don't have the things that I set out to have at my age. That is okay. That is okay. Sometimes some of us start later in life, and that is okay. And I had to remind myself of that when my peers, younger than me, have accomplished certain things, whatever the case might be, and I haven't. And I'm questioning everything. And then I had to remind myself, hey, some of us just have a late start, and that is okay. But you have to give yourself grace because you're just human and you are trying your best. But if you don't take anything from this video, I want you to know that yes, the destination is important. And I know you want to reach your goals. But while you are aiming for your goals, I want you to, or your destination, I really want you to savor the moment. Enjoy the journey because some of us may never reach our destination. And that's the reality of it. So, what are you going to do then? Are you going to just live life bitter, angry, frustrated? No. That is not what God intended us to live life. That is not how God intended us to live life. Bitter, angry, frustrated, overwhelmed, depressed, anxious, you name it. That is no. So, my take is to move past those feelings. I need you to focus on now. I need you to think about the things that you do have that brings you joy. And don't tell me there's nothing because there is something if you could think hard enough. Don't be negative, okay? We're trying to be positive here. If you're one of those person when someone try to ask you to think positive and all you can think about is something negative, then that means you have a lot of work to do and that is okay. But as long as you recognize it, that's the most important part. Recognizing where you need to go and actually doing it. So yeah, I just wanted to come on to share that with you. And if you have parents if you have parents out there with the same, like they work the entire life but nothing to show, listen, you be there for them. You love them. You be there for them and help them in this time because if they struggle their whole life just trying to make it, just trying to pay bills, being unhappy, and I will say that being unhappy just imagine right now what you can do and how you can provide that safe space for them, how you can be that beacon of hope for them, how you can help them. And this can be financially, this can be emotionally, this can be spiritually, all of these you can think about. And like give them the things that they always wanted, but they just never got because they had to decide this or this. And most of the time, they neglected themselves to attend to the household. Even though we didn't see it when we were small, when you look back at it, that is exactly what they did. Mightn't be the best way because you probably be like, questionable, like, but the intention behind it, they did make those sacrifices for us. At least I could speak for myself with my dad, with our dad, I would say. It wasn't always the best um, meals, but we still had a meal. It wasn't always the best because we get a lot of licks, right? We get a lot of licks. But it wasn't always the best when it comes to that. But looking back, I can laugh at it now. At the time, I wasn't laughing. But they did sacrifice a lot, honestly, just so that we can have a better life. And now this is how I see it. Now is our time to give back. Now is our time to provide that safe space for them so they can have the life that they deserve, even if it's later on in life, so that they can reach a destination, their destination, they can achieve their goals, or they can still, right now, they can enjoy the journey to their destination. They can enjoy that time that they have still. You know what I'm saying? And be happy. And yeah, that is literally my wish. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. Really appreciate it. It means a lot.